What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are all having an absolutely incredible day. I know I am. As you guys can see, today we have basically my longest story time ever, and that's because this actually might be up there as one of the craziest things I've ever experienced. I've been saving it for a rainy day, and after yesterday where Fainted pretended that he hacked my channel even though I didn't tell him to, I feel like you guys deserve a banger story, alright? So today we're going to be talking about the babysitter I had when I was younger. I know what you're thinking, Ryan, what could be so crazy about a babysitter? Well, let's just put it this way. My babysitter used to lock me in closets so he could make out with his girlfriend, and it would go maybe a little bit further than making out. And he would also tell me stories to purposely give me nightmares so that way my parents would feel bad and have him stay longer because he could tell me the secret of the story to make me calm down. The guy was actually a psychopath, and trust me, he's legitimately insane. And when you start getting into the details, you'll understand what I mean. But before we get into that, guys, if you guys could press the like button, I would absolutely appreciate it. It helps the video do better, and if this video gets 20,000 likes, I'll do another part on this babysitter because I have stories for days. He was my next door neighbor and basically babysat me every time my parents went anywhere, so I have no shortage of stories. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into this. My first real experience I had with this babysitter that I remember is when I was around 4 years old. Like I said, he was my neighbor and he was around 15 at the time, and he came over while my parents were gone, and at one point, after hanging out with me for a while, watching TV, making me dinner, all that stuff, he told me that we were gonna play hide and seek, but I had to be a real good hider and I would probably be hiding for a very long time. So I was like, bet, dude, I'm ready to play. I love hide and seek. I thought I was just gonna be playing games with this cool babysitter that was new and definitely wanted to hang out with me. And in my house, we have this closet under the stairs that has a bunch of room in it, kind of like a Harry Potter closet, and there's a bunch of toys and boxes in there, and that was my favorite hiding place. And I ended up finding this out later when I would tell my parents about this when I was like 14 years old, but they told him that was my favorite hiding spot. So if we were playing hide and seek, to let me hide there for a little before finding me, just because little kids like to be good at things, you know, and I was only about 4 years old. So I go into the closet, I hide behind some boxes, and I start waiting for my babysitter to come find me because he promised me that we were going to be playing hide and seek, and who lies to a 4-year-old, am I right? So here I am, lying in the closet behind these boxes, waiting for my babysitter to come find me, and I hear the door rustling, and me being a 4-year-old, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be lit, boys. Oh, there's no way he's gonna find me. I am the god at hide and seek. I am untouchable. I am Sly Cooper. I am invisible. I am Iron Man. And so I'm just minding my business, really expecting my babysitter to burst through the door any minute. And 10 minutes passed probably, or at least felt like 10 minutes, and he still hasn't come in. There was just fidgeting at the door, and that was it. And it's not dark in there. There is a light in there, so I'm not like freaking out or anything, even though at the time I was pretty afraid of the dark. But I am stuck in a tiny closet with just a couple toys, right? So I go to open the door because I'm like, hey man, you haven't found me in 10 minutes. You're kind of bad at this game, you little poop shoot. And the door won't open. There's no lock on the door, but I'm pushing on it and it's not working at all. Like the door just isn't budging. And that's when I hear it, a voice I didn't recognize, and it was a girl's voice. And she's saying my babysitter's name, who I'm gonna name Daniel for the purpose of the story because I feel like that's just a douchey name. And this guy just locked a 4-year-old in a closet, so he's kind of the king douche. Like if there was a douche kingdom, this guy would be the douche king, okay? So they're talking and I start to hear noises that definitely isn't a normal conversation. That's all I'm gonna say because I like to stay monetized and Susan's kind of edgy lately. But I'm banging on the door. I'm a 4-year-old, by the way, banging on the door trying to get out because this douche canoe locked a 4-year-old in the closet. I'm banging on the door. He's banging something else, if you guys know what I mean. And I'm stuck and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die in the closet. Holy cow, he's being kidnapped by a group of female ninjas that love to scream. But regardless, about 20 minutes later, she leaves and the door opens and he's like, oh my gosh, I didn't know how to get the door open. I was trying so hard. And I'm like, listen here, Daniel, I might be 4 years old, but I wasn't born yesterday. 4 years old is 4 years, mister. You think I'm stupid? I've seen Shark Week 4 times at this point. I have plenty of knowledge on absolutely everything, all right? And that's when I notice a dining room chair that is suddenly near the door. This guy had propped a door underneath the closet handle so I couldn't get out just to bring his girlfriend over. And you know what? If he would have just turned on the PS2 upstairs and just been like, yo, play a video game, I probably would have been fine. But Douche Canoe really had to lock me in a closet. Douche Canoe Daniel, that's his official nickname. But whatever, he promises me that if I don't tell my mom and dad about the closet situation, that he'll give me an otter pop. And you know, I'm 4 years old, so I'm like, I bet that's a fair trade. I mean, being locked in the closet kind of sucked, but it wasn't that bad. And I'm gonna get an otter pop out of it. I'll take these odds any day of the week. So I let Daniel off the hook this time, all right? Otter pops can buy my silence almost as much as money, and I've been paid off by quite a few mafia members at this point to keep my silence. But regardless, I don't don't tell my parents that he locked me in the closet, which I probably should have done, but you're 4 years old, a cool kid who's older than you and likes to hang out with you and play hide and seek where he locks you in a closet, tells you to keep your mouth shut. You kind of just keep your mouth shut. It was really stupid in retrospect. I don't know what I was thinking, but Douche Canoe Daniel really had a way with convincing me not to tell anyone. But it wouldn't be the last time Douche Canoe Daniel used my 4-year-old naivety to his advantage. The next time he babysat me, it somehow got worse. And I know what you're thinking. How could it possibly get worse than locking a toddler in the closet? But it did. You see, I guess Douche Canoe Daniel didn't like how much money my parents were paying him because I was playing PS2 Sly Cooper, which is in my parents' room, and my parents' closet was basically, I could see it from where I was playing PS2, right? And I'm looking down the hallway, and I see Douche Canoe Daniel kind of going through my mom's stuff, especially near where they keep their money. And 4-year-old me obviously didn't put 2 and 2 together, but I asked Daniel, I said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm just reorganizing your mom's jewelry." And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense, Douche Canoe Daniel. Plenty of babysitter teenage boys rearrange middle-aged women's jewelry. That's a common trend. I know plenty of people who do exactly that because 4-year-olds are stupid, okay? Babies are just drunk people, little drunk people. I mean, think about it. I wasn't a baby by any means, but I was still really short. I couldn't walk very well. I really sucked with my words. I was basically just a drunk person. Babies are just drunk people. And I just kind of let it slide. I didn't think about it. But anyways, Daniel keeps rummaging through my parents' room and comes back, and I don't think anything of it because I'm 4 years old and I'm playing PS2, and I don't really understand people who would steal things yet. Like, that concept was still kind of rare to me. For some reason, when you're 4 years old, you believe in the good of everybody around you, and you're not sitting there going, yeah, this babysitter's probably stealing stuff from my parents. It's just not a thought that's crossing your mind every 30 seconds. And later that night, before my parents got home, I ended up spilling my chocolate milk all over the carpet, which I wasn't supposed to have the drink on anyways, and Daniel was like, hey man, don't even worry about it, like, you're good, don't sweat it, everything's fine, I won't tell your mom and dad. And so here I am being like, yo, Douche Canoe Daniel's actually a cool dude, he's not gonna snitch on me for spilling my chocolate milk. And my mom would have been pissed if she found out that I had chocolate milk on the carpet where I wasn't supposed to have it. So he cleans up the milk, you can't tell it was there, and I'm like, oh my god, Douche Canoe Daniel is literally magic, he's a wizard, he's Harry Potter in the flesh. I've never seen anyone clean up chocolate milk with such grace, such poise, such fantastic talent at getting dairy out of a carpet. Wow, Douche Canoe Daniel has a talent, and it should have been telling to me that the only thing he's ever been good at is cleaning up chocolate milk. But whatever, my parents and me, we're just kind of hanging out, and my mom comes in the next day, and she's talking to my dad, and I overhear him, and she's talking about how she can't find her earrings, the earrings that my dad just bought her for their 10-year wedding anniversary, and how she's freaking out, they're tearing the house apart, and they're like, well, maybe it was Daniel. So they call Daniel over, and they don't tell him what they're gonna do. They go into the other room to talk to Daniel's parents about it, because they all came over, because when, you know, your son might have stolen diamond earrings, it's a little important to talk to the parents of the 15-year-old. And he comes over to me, and I'm pretty sure at this point he knew it was coming, because he tells me that if my mom and dad ask what we did, we played Sly Cooper together, and I never left your sight, okay? And I bring up the fact that he had gone into the closet, and he threatens me and basically says that if I tell them that he went into the mom and dad's closet, or my mom and dad's closet, that he's gonna tell them that I spilt chocolate milk all over the carpet and I wasn't supposed to have chocolate milk, and they'd be really mad at me for doing that. And you know, I'm 4, so I'm like, yeah, you're right, dude. They probably would be pissed that I had chocolate milk. Gee, thanks, Douche Canoe Daniel. You're right. I won't tell on you because you won't tell on me. But let me put this in perspective for you, okay? He's blackmailing a 4-year-old. What type of terrible person does this? This guy is basically this teenage Hitler blackmailing a 4-year-old to not snitch on him for stealing his mom's earrings. What a terrible person. So my mom and dad come in and they're like, hey, you know, what's up, Douche Canoe Daniel? Did you take her earrings? You know, be honest with us, we won't be mad. And he goes, no, I spent the whole night hanging out with Ryan. Huh, Ryan? And I said, yeah, Douche Canoe Daniel never left my side because I didn't want to get in trouble for the chocolate milk, right? And when you're 4 years old, you really don't understand the gravity of someone stealing from your parents. You just don't. At least I didn't, okay? I was pretty sheltered as a kid. I didn't really understand what was going on and what I was lying to cover up. So Douche Canoe Daniel isn't in trouble. He gets away with stealing my mom's earrings, and you might be thinking there's no way it can get worse. But trust me, ladies and gentlemen, there is a situation that gets much worse. So just for the recap, so far, he locked a 4-year-old in the closet, stole the 4-year-old's mom's earrings, and then blackmailed the 4-year-old into lying for him to cover up. So this is the last story I'm gonna do for today's video, but it's probably the longest one. Basically, one night my parents asked Douche Canoe Daniel to come over over and stay really late with me. We're talking probably 1:30 in the morning type of flow, you know, which is pretty late for a babysitter, you know. It is. It's one of those things where, like, yeah, it's probably not fun to sit with a 4-year-old until 1 in the morning, but if you're getting paid to do it and you agreed to do it, you kind of have to. You don't have an option. Like, if you didn't want to babysit till 1 in the morning, don't say yes. But I guess Douche Canoe Daniel never got the memo of how to say no, because basically what happened is around midnight, I'm still awake. He gave me way too much sugar, way too many Otter Pops, way too many chocolate milks, and I'm on a sugar high equivalent to Wiz Khalifa and Bob Marley's high, okay? It is an interesting situation, to say the least. It is out of control. I'm screaming. I'm going crazy. But like I said, my parents aren't home. I'm 4 years old, and let's not forget, guys, he's the babysitter. He's supposed to be in charge of me, the 4-year-old, not intimidated by the 4-year-old that he made sugar high in the first place. But regardless, Douche Canoe Daniel, after making the mistake of getting me sugar high, after getting the mistake of keeping me up super late, it's around midnight. Like I said, my parents will be home around 1:30 in the morning, which is pretty late, I'm not gonna lie. Douche Canoe Daniel just decides to do the following. He says, you know what, man, I'm hungry, get in the car. Keep in mind, Douche Canoe Daniel is 15. My parents took one car, my mom's car was still at home. He goes, grabs the keys, puts 4-year-old me at midnight in the car that he's not legally allowed to drive, that it's not his car, and proceeds to drive with me to his friend's house at midnight. And it basically stole my mom's car to do this, by the way. Like, I don't know what the guy was thinking. Legitimately took my mom's car from the house without her permission with a 4-year-old at basically midnight, 1 in the morning, and takes me to his girlfriend's house. They get in the car. He proceeds to tell me to get out, and they make out in the car with me standing on the sidewalk at 1 in the morning in the car he just stole from my garage. Who does that? What a terrible person. And at the time, I really didn't even think it was that big of a deal. So whatever, it gets to be about 1 in the morning. He freaks out, rushes me home, puts me to bed, and says, go to sleep or I'm going to tell your parents you spilled that chocolate milk the last time. I shut up, close my eyes, pretend to be asleep when my parents walk in. He starts talking about how I've been out since 9 p.m., all this stuff, blah, 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 and just doesn't even tell my parents about any of this. First of all, I don't understand how you could possibly want to make out with your girlfriend with a 4-year-old standing on the sidewalk next to you. That doesn't scream romance to me. Like, nothing about that is like, oh man, I'm really in the mood to just really make out with you for a quick minute, you know? That 4-year-old standing next to us, yeah, I'm babysitting him, I'm supposed to be taking care of him, but I'm way more important to make out with you, baby girl. Like, what a weirdo. And the girl, what was she thinking? Oh yeah, perfectly normal to keep a 4-year-old up this late and then lock him outside the car while we make out in his mom's car that he stole from my house. Regardless, he lied to my parents, and I never really told them until I was like in 8th grade, and I started realizing how bad of a babysitter he was, because I guess when you're 4, you just don't really think about it. You're just like, oh yeah, this makes perfect sense. This is just how people act, which is just really stupid. I don't know what I was thinking to this day. It was one of my dumbest experiences. But regardless, that's a couple of the stories of the insane babysitter who I'm not surprised, probably in prison at this point. I'm probably gonna go look him up after this and see if I can find him, figure out what he ended up doing with his life, because it's probably nothing good. I don't know how you're such a terrible person that you think locking a 4-year-old in a closet is just the moral, upstanding, good thing to do, but hey, if you're watching this, Douche Canoe Daniel, good for you for being the worst person ever, and thank you for giving me such a great story. Like, I know you guys are gonna love this one because you love stories about crazy people doing crazy, stupid things, and Douche Canoe Daniel is pretty nuts. Like I said, if this video gets 20k likes, I will do a part 2. Basically, the other story I have about Douche Canoe Daniel involves some pretty juicy situation of him getting caught by my parents when I was around 6 for doing all these terrible things, because he basically smoked weed with 6-year-old me around. So I'll tell that story if this video gets 20,000 likes, so be sure to smash that like button, comment down below. I'm sorry for not uploading yesterday. I was just feeling a little bit under the weather. I didn't know Fainted was gonna come on the channel and pretend that he hacked me and just absolutely shreked all of my content, and I do apologize for that, but I'm back now, guys. I promise I'm not going anywhere. Daddy Scrubby is back for good. And I know you guys are actually low-key impressed with the fact that I got this victory royale in the contenders division, really out here with 179.9 kill Dubski. That's right, your boy Scrubby is technically a Fortnite god. But on that note, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. Comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow with another video. Don't get anyone pregnant, and if you do, make sure they're the hottest, most incredible Douche Canoe Daniel-esque person you've ever seen in your entire life, and I'll talk to you next time. I'm out. Peace.